What my dad showed me about hell before he died, that is the message I received. This is not a message that someone told him, nor what someone showed him. This is about what he was shown. Her father was a man the community called a pillar, a man who sat at the front of the church, who people called when the family was in crisis, because if he was there, everything would be alright. But behind the suit, behind the Bible in his hand every Sunday morning, there was a bottle. This aspect of the man, the community and the church never knew. But his daughter, his only daughter, knew. And when the sickness came for him, his daughter was the one sitting beside him. And what he told her in those final hours changed everything she thought she knew about eternity. This man's final moment is what we are going to talk about in this episode. Let me tell you who this man was, because it matters in this conversation. He was the kind of man who built things, a career man and a family man. And in his community, his word carries weight. People listened to him not because they were told to, but because over the years, he had earned that. He was also a churchman, someone who preaches in church on Sundays, someone the young men in the congregation always aspire to be like. His daughter was proud of him in ways every child would be if this man was your father. She said, "When my father walks into the room changes. Even the air in the room changes." And I thought that was just who he was. I did not know that that was just a performance. This is a lady talking about her father, someone she loved, someone she loves still. One thing you should understand is this: she did not discover the drinking part because he told her. No, she discovered it slowly, the way you discover things day by day, the way you discover things that you are not expecting to see, the way you notice things that does not fit, a smell that does not match the hour. This is the process through which this lady told me she discovered the drinking aspect of her father. She said sometimes he will come home with his eyes changed, a bad smell, and even talk out of character. But you see, this man had mastered the way he appeared to people. Inside his house, his daughter was seeing signs, was seeing things that was not like her father. But outside the house, he appeared to people the way they knew him. His daughter said she believed he was managing everything. She said she never confronted him because she didn't know how to. And the father never brought it to her. And so they lived around it the way families do. This family lived in silence, lived together, loving each other the way families do, in silence, not knowing how to break it. Now he was 71 when he was diagnosed. The doctors were clear about what was happening to him. The body had carried decades of strain, and now the time had come to settle the account. His daughter said she took leave from work to be with her father. This, she said, was not seen as a time spent because she knew this was the last moment she would get to spend with her father. And this time, she said she didn't want to spend it on phone with him in another city. In the first week, he was still himself, still composed, still the man who would ask about other people's problem before he even think about himself. He was still the man who made the nurses laugh, still the man who wanted the Bible read to him every morning, the same passage over and over again. But as the weeks passed, and the illness deepened, and the body began the process of letting go. Something in him shifted. This shift was not in his personality, but in his spirit. He became quieter than ever. Quiet in a sense of a man who is hearing something from a direction no other person in the room can hear. And in the final week, he stopped sleeping like the way people sleep. He would sleep with his eyes closed, but something beneath his eyes was still awake. His face would not rest. You see, something was happening behind his closed eyes that was not sleep. His hands would grip the bed sheets. His lips would move with sounds. And sometimes he would inhale sharply, like the way someone will inhale when they see something that frightens them. And when his eyes are finally open, he will stare at the ceiling for long before he opened his mouth to talk. On the third night of that final week, he called her to his bedside at 2 in the morning. She came to his bedside. She took his hand, and he looked at her for a long time before he spoke. And then he said, "I have been somewhere." He told her that when he closed his eyes, he was not in the room. He was being taken somewhere, not by a person or anything he could describe with a shape or face. But he was being taken, and he could not stop it, and he could not turn back. He described a place that had no light, like the way we understand light. He said there was a visibility. Yes, he could see, but the seeing itself was wrong. He said there was sound, but not sound like the way we understand sound here, as in voices and music. No, he said the sound was like weight. He said it was like an accumulated sound of energy. He said it was like the accumulated sound of every regret ever felt, compressed into a frequency that you could not block or escape. And then he said he saw people, some of them he knew from his community and even from his church, though he did not tell the daughter their names. But the expression on his face as he was telling the daughter this meant he really knew those people, or they were really close to him. You see, the recognition he was describing was not a comfort. It was the worst part. He said what struck him most was not the darkness. It was the permanence. He said everything in that place communicated one thing and one thing only. This is not temporal. He understood that there was no morning coming, nor evening. And the people he saw there were not just passing through, they were at home. As this man began talking about his experience in that realm to his daughter, he started weeping. This, his daughter said she had never saw her father weep in her entire life. She went further to say that this kind of weeping that she saw from her father had no performance in it. It was raw from pain, grief, and whatever it is that he was seeing over there was the cause of that weeping. Then he held her hand so tightly that she thought he might not let go. And then he said, "I do not want to go back there." This is where his daughter asked him if he wanted to pray. And then he said, "I have been praying my whole life, but tonight I want to mean it." They prayed together at 2 in the morning, a father and his daughter, in a hospital room. With everything that had never been said between them finally said, He surrendered everything that night. The reputation, the performance, the years of managing. Instead of surrendering, he surrendered everything that night. He brought all of it and did let it go. When they finished praying, his face was different. Not the composed face, not the performance face, something she had never seen on him before. Peace. Peace. Real peace. The kind that does not come from managing. The kind that only comes when you surrender. He died early that morning with his daughter's hand in his. Now, I want to talk to you not about the man nor his daughter. I want us to talk about us, about the kind of life we live. I cannot pinpoint what you are doing, the same way you cannot pinpoint what I'm doing. But once we all acknowledge the fact that we are not perfect, then we should try as much as possible to call on the Holy Spirit so that the Spirit will lead us on the right path. We may be doing things that might be perfect to the people we come across each and every day, but in the eyes of the Holy Spirit, we may be sinning. Let's measure our standard according to the standards of the Holy Spirit. If there are things that we are doing, if there are things that we are engaging ourselves in, we know when we are being judged by the Spirit, we will fall short. Let's turn away from those things. So in every step of the way, let's ask the Spirit if this is the right thing. And this, you don't need a pastor. You don't need a prophet. You do not need any leader to lead you to the Spirit. Please. Jesus came and gave you access to the Father. You can present your case to the Father without any intermediary. And as we have been seeing in testimonies and in confessions, these leaders, they've built their structures in a way that you can't question them. So my question is, someone that you can't question, is that the person you want to lead or you want to give access to your spiritual life? The only person who should have access to your spiritual life is the Holy Spirit and yourself, because it is you who knows yourself better than anybody. No prophet, no seer, no pastor knows you better than yourself. Let us go deep within ourselves and throw away things that even on this earth to go a long way to hurt us. Because there are certain things we do that physically we will get negative results here even before we die. I want to end here. Let us build this platform to a level that it will become one family. I'll see you in the next upload.